Welcome to a little bit of Calm and Crazy. Today I am sharing with you some super easy kitchen DIYs. These are repurposed, upcycled, thrift flips, whatever you want to call them, and I think you will love them. Not only will they add a little pop to your kitchen, but I am not kidding, they are super easy. If you are new, my name is Jennifer, and I love sharing with you budget decor and easy DIYs. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss any of my future videos. And let's go ahead and jump right on in to today's projects. I found this beautiful wood riser. It was originally $9.99. I was able to get it for half off, and it was like love at first sight. I love using things like this when I decorate because it allows me to decorate with different heights, and I knew that this would be a perfect piece. I really wanted to bring the brass that you can see around back to life. So here I have some Barkeeper's Friend, and I know that it works really great on stainless steel, and I was hoping that it would work really great on the brass as well. And luckily for me, it did. So I just took a little bit of the powder and mixed it with water. Barkeeper's Friend also comes in like a creamy base that you can get. So either one of those would work. We just happened to keep the powder on hand. And as you can see, just with a lint-free cloth, it cleaned it up so beautifully, and it wasn't hard at all. So I went between using my cloth as well as a toothbrush to get into a few of the finer areas if the cloth wasn't able to get it. And I had the brass on top as well as on the sides. And I really was so happy to see this. What a fun and unusual piece that I was able to find. After I was able to get all the brass cleaned up, I'm going in now with Waverly's chalk paint and white and painting it out, the top, the bottom, the sides, everything. And at first I was being really careful not to get any of it on the brass. And then I decided I was just gonna go ahead and paint and then go in and do a little bit of like wet distressing to pull the paint back where I didn't want it. I wanted to go ahead and leave some of the paint and set on some of the brass, but pull it back where I didn't want it. I hope that that is making sense as you are seeing this. And that way I got a little bit more of that rustic, worn in look. I feel like the brass was really getting lost in the wood and you couldn't really see it. And now that it's painted white, you're gonna be able to really see that brass pop. The white and the brass really complement each other, and I love the two colors together. Of course, if you've been around, you know that I really do actually love natural woods. So this piece was beautiful the way it was. I think that it just elevated it that much more by lightening it up. Now, here is where I'm wet distressing by taking a wet damp cloth, just a damp cloth around the brass areas, and wiping off the paint that I don't want. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is not only will it wipe away the paint because the paint is a water-based paint, but it will not scratch the metal. So I choose to do this over using sandpaper. So I go ahead and I paint out the entire piece, the top, the sides, the bottom, and after that, any of the wet distressing that I need to do, I go back and I take care of that, and I make sure that I am showing that brass off, but leaving some of that white paint in the grooves so that it really just has a lot of depth and dimension. After that, I do go in with a piece of sandpaper to kind of rough up some of those edges to give it a little bit more of that rustic look that I'm looking for. And I absolutely just love the way that this piece comes together. Now to seal it, I do go in with some wax. This is some Bear wax that I have. I just pick it up at Home Depot. Now the white wax on this probably doesn't really matter. You could also use like a clear wax, and I just take a brush and I just kind of buff it in, wipe off the extra, and that wax will seal it and protect it. I think that this piece is absolutely fantastic. I love it, and I can see that I will use it all year long. Rolling pins are one of those things I absolutely love looking for when I go thrift store shopping. This one was originally $2.99. I only paid $1.50 for it. You will find that I normally love to go thrift store shopping when it is like 50% off. Even though I don't plan to use this rolling pin for anything other than decor, I can tell that someone did love and use it before, and it had a few little crumbs still attached to it. So I went ahead and I did wash it, but just for extra precautions, I did do a light sanding on it and clean it up, and then I washed it again before I ever even started working with it. So I'm using Waverly's chalk paint and blue agave in order to paint the handles of the rolling pin. I love painting the handles of rolling pins because it's such an easy thing to do, but it's such a nice way to add a little bit of pop of color to your kitchen decor. Now, if you were to go into one of those little boutiques that sell like the antiques and the farmhouse decor, you would easily pay like $12 or $13 for a rolling pin like this, where I only paid $1.50 and a little bit of paint. I'm also going to add a little decal to this, but that is completely optional. So here I have cut a little pie in homemade using my CRICUT. If you have CRICUT in Design Space, I have a link for you down in the description box that you can click on, and you can have access to this so that you can also use this either on a rolling pin or somewhere else if you would like to. If you do not have an electric die cutting machine, please don't worry about it. You could use stickers, you could also use a rub-on, or you could leave it blank. I think a rolling pin that is just painted is just as cute, and I will be showing you that in just a second. So once I got this on there, I went ahead and I took a fine grit sandpaper. I am using a 220. I just sanded it and roughed it up a little bit. And then I did seal it with a wax. This is just a white wax. It's bare wax. I pick it up at Home Depot. Easy to get your hands on. All you do is you brush it on and then wipe off the extra and you are good to go. Now here is another rolling pin that I found. I really love the shape of this one, and it is definitely smaller than that first one. Now with this one, I only paid 50 cents, and I'm going in with Waverly's chalk paint and ink. It is their black chalk paint. Again, I just painted the handles. Once that dried, again, I went in with the sandpaper and sanded it. And then I'm using, this time it's the DIY wax. This is the first time I've used this, and this is a thicker wax. It's almost like think of like a lip balm consistency, like it's pretty thick. And I sealed it with that. I'm really excited to be playing with this a little bit more. But look how good this looks just painted out. There are so many different sizes of rolling pins and so many different options of colors. You can have a lot of fun with this. Such an easy and simple way to get kitchen decor, and it only cost me $2 for both of these rolling pins. Now this little container was a little bit on the dirtier side when I found it, but because it is like a ceramic, I knew that it could clean up like a breeze, and for $1, or actually 99 cents, I couldn't pass it up. After scrubbing it completely clean, I'm going in with the word yum. I cut this using my CRICUT. If you have CRICUT in Design Space, I do have a link for you down below that you can have access to cutting this yourself. Now, I did wipe it with alcohol to make sure that I got off any oil or residue, and then I'm just laying it on, attaching it on, and it is that easy breezy, and I feel like it just gave it a little extra something than just being plain Jane. For just $1, I have just the cutest little place to stash my treats, and I absolutely love it. I get questions asked all the time about this cutting board. I got it from At Home. I don't know if they still carry it, but I did see this metal monogram letters at Dollar General, not Dollar Tree, but Dollar General, if you are interested in possibly making your own decorative cutting board. In case you missed it, this blue tin was actually from my last video, and I know I'm gonna get questions about it, so if you're interested in it, I'm gonna leave the link for you in the description box so that you can go check that out as well. I absolutely love thrifting. It can be so much fun, but sometimes you do need to go in with just a little bit of creativity and see beyond what the piece originally is and see what the piece really could be. So sometimes it is more than just adding paint and calling it a day. So with this piece, I was able to take the front of the drawers and actually create a couple of trays. I don't know about you, but I never seem to have enough trays. I love them when I am decorating. It just really helps to pull an area together. And so this to me was a lot of fun. So maybe the next time you see a dresser or an entertainment stand and you see drawers, that could be a lot of fun for you as well. And the video that I did with this, I do have step-by-step instructions if you want to see that. But also, if you want to see what I did with the main part, make sure that you go and check that video out. I will have it linked for you. If you are looking for more easy thrift flips or kitchen DIYs, here's a couple more videos for you to check out. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!